You're tuned into TobiTalks, Conference and Networking Edition. Nurse CEO Success Summit, Tech Hackers. And the church says amen. Finally, you guys, we are being recognized, okay? I am so freaking lit about this conference because one, I'm going to be there live, definitely covering this conference and showing you guys all the awesome things that are going on. And two, we finally have a conference for us. You guys know in the nursing world, we are constantly patient-centered. Oh my God, patient-centered. And don't get me wrong, we love our patients, but what about nurse love? Sometimes we even feel forgotten about. Even when we go to conferences, it really is patient-centered. How can we do better at patient care, no matter what field you're in? But finally, we got conferences out there and networking engagements that are specifically for nurses. And this conference is one of them. The Nurse CEO Success Summit is a summit for nurses who are entrepreneurs and those aspiring to be entrepreneurs and those who are just looking for career alternatives. And this is the conference you want to be at. I had the amazing opportunity of sitting down with Lolita and Portia as they tell me about what all these amazing nurses are going to gain coming to this conference. And I'm more excited about it because we got millennials out there repping. This is their first one, and I am mad excited about it. It will be September 29th in LA. So if you don't have your tickets, get your tickets now because I'm going to be up in there and lit. And sober lit though. I might have a drink or two. Well, look, I'm going to be there. It's going to be popping. We're going to learn so much and I cannot wait to see you there. So before I start talking too much, because y'all know how I get, let me go ahead and hop into this amazing interview. Well, I am so excited to have you here. I know, Lolita, you are the CEO, the Nurse CEO founder, and Portia, you are the Millennial Nurse, and you guys are out here doing amazing things, especially the Success Summit that's coming up. But before we hop into that, I want to know what made you guys even want to go into nursing. Portia, tell me, why did you pick this field called nursing?
I chose nursing because back in 2005, I was in my first semester of college, and I actually was majoring in criminal justice and English. I wanted to be in forensic sciences, and I had a very traumatic experience. I actually tried to commit suicide, and I went into the ICU. I was there for about 2 weeks, and the nurses were phenomenal. And I knew that when I got out and I got well and I started to go back to school, I knew that nursing was for me because I want to be in the right place at the right time to be able to touch someone the way those nurses touched me and changed my life. Wow.
Hello. That hit the heart. Thank you, girl. That is such an amazing story to hear. And that's truly what inspires us to be a nurse, to be that person that's there for someone in their hardest times. Thank you. And Lolita, why did you pick nursing? Like, out of all the careers you could have picked, girl, you chose this field. Tell me about that.
I know, it's crazy. My story isn't as inspiring as Portia's, but when I was in college, I was actually pre-med. I always wanted to be a doctor growing up, but around my sophomore, junior year, I went to get my annual checkup, and my doctor, who was an African-American woman, sat down and she asked me, how school was going and all that type of stuff. And I told her that, I was thinking about, going to med school and, pursuing a medical career. And she sat down and discussed with me all of the pros and cons of being a doctor. And one of her biggest cons was that she didn't have enough time to spend with her 2 daughters. She said that she worked so much and she hated that she was always at work and she missed out on all of their important events. And so she recommended that I look into becoming a nurse, because as a nurse, I can still be in the medical field, but I would have more free time and not a lot of debt. And so after talking to her, I went and I explored nursing, and I found out that there are a million types of nursing that I could do as a nurse. And so I was immediately hooked. And so I changed my major to become a nurse.
Wow. Okay. So that's a story I usually hear all the time too, about like everyone wants to be a doctor. And I think that's because we have like highlighted the field of being a doctor to be this prestigious, cool role, and we've kind of neglected that nursing role. And I love that I have you two ladies here because you are exactly what we need. We need phenomenal women out there that are making nursing the prestigious, you know, that kind of field that you want to go into, because it's not a one-stop shop. Like you said, there are thousands of roles you can be as a nurse. And I'm so excited because now I really want to hop into this Success Summit. So tell me about how you guys came up with the fact of doing a networking. You know what? I'm already talking too much. I want you guys to explain it to me.
Well, I came up with Nurse CEO in general because I was always into the business side of healthcare. Even when I was in nursing school, I did my electives with a CNO at a local hospital. So that was always intriguing to me. Mm-hmm. But what I realized was, as I wanted to continue my education, it was hard for me to fit into a lot of business social circles because I was always the only nurse in the room, no matter where I went. So I wanted Nurse CEO to be an organization that empowers nurses to do business type of activities and still remain a nurse. I want to include every type of nurse out there, whether they want to start a business in healthcare or they want to start a business outside of healthcare. Once you're a nurse, you're really always a nurse. And I want to embrace the fact that we can use our nursing skills and transition those into the business world. So with the Nurse CEO Success Summit, essentially, I want to expose nurses to different type of things that they can do, whether they want to become entrepreneurs or they just want to advance in leadership roles within businesses. So this is an opportunity for them to meet people outside of the actual healthcare arena, but they are business leaders and business thought leaders and influencers in their own circles. And that way they can network with a whole bunch of different type of people.
Man, that is so dope. Like, girl, we've been looking for things like that. And I think sometimes we get so focus driven on nursing only being almost like a box where it's either only healthcare and that's all you know. If you're a nurse, you can't be anything outside of that. So to know that you've already been ahead of the race, you're like, nah, we're more, you'll always be a nurse at heart, but you can do so many things, even being a nurse, you know? And I love that. So right. Portia, you're the millennial nurse, girl. So me and you eye to eye, you know what I mean? Like, I'm over here doing this millennial podcast for these nurses out here, and you're over here representing millennial nurses as a whole. So how are you contributing to this Success Summit? And tell me about what engaged you to be a part of this project.
Well, Lolita and I we met through her Facebook group, her Nurse CEO Facebook group. And Lolita is the bomb, y'all. She is very innovative. She's very ahead of the curve. She's also an Alabama girl, so I knew that I had to be attached to her in some type of way. And she's very inspiring. She teaches you a lot. She's taught me a lot. And not only is she my partner, but she's also my mentor. And so me as a millennial nurse, when I became a nurse, I was the youngest nurse in my unit. And, you know, us millennials, things are different. Millennial nurses make up about 1/3 of a nursing workforce. And the millennial nurses are leaving their units, leaving, the nursing field within 1 year of being hired as a new grad. And that is a crazy statistic that you're becoming a nurse and within a year you're saying, well, this is not for me, so I'm going to do another field. And as we know, there's a nursing shortage already. And since we do make up such a big population of the nursing workforce, we need to stay in there. And so when she came to me and she was talking to me about the summit, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is what we need, because I know lots of nurses who are millennial nurses. They're saying, I like being a nurse, but I want to do something else. I wanted to have my own business. I want to, advance in the leadership roles. And one thing about millennials, if you don't give us support and you don't give us professional development, we're gone. We're not going to stay for 20 years at a job. Mm-hmm. Exactly. We're not going to be 20 years at a job and we're still stuck in the same place. We want to be able to advance. And so the Nurse CEO community, period, is such a great community. We all help each other. We have different questions that, we can answer. We all bring in something differently. And the Success Summit, I've been to nursing conferences and it's like, there are a lot of nurses there, but there's not anyone else there outside of the healthcare realm.
Yeah.
And there are people who have no medical experience, no healthcare experience, and they are opening healthcare businesses and they're making millions of dollars. And it's like, nurses, what are you doing? This is your arena. Go for it. And so when Lolita was telling me about the conference, I said, yeah, I have to be a part of this. I have to bring the millennial aspect to it so that millennial nurses can know. And since I do have a network of tons of nurses who are nurse entrepreneurs and tons of millennials, I figured, why not merge those together and we can do something great with this.
That's beautiful. And that's exactly what we need. And I just want you guys to kind of talk to me about what this summit is going to be about and what kind of audience you're expecting to be there. I mean, of course, we want millennial nurses. So what are we trying to, what does this conference entail in general for us to be there as a millennial nurse?
Well, here's the key. I keep calling it to myself the unhealthcare conference for nurses, because we are not going to talk about blood pressure or diabetes or heart disease or anything like that at this conference. This conference is going to solely be to inspire and to empower nurses to be the best type of nurse they can be and be the best type of business person they can be. So we have invited all type of experts to come and speak to nurses. So we have marketing experts, we have digital experts, like every type of person that I can get my hands on, I ask them to be a part of this. So for the LA Summit, we have about 10 speakers. So it's going to be an all-day thing. We will include lunch and a light breakfast, and we're just going to feed the souls of all these nurses and give them as much information we possibly can. And we're going to replicate that and do the same thing in Atlanta. We're inviting tons of speakers. They're all experts in their fields. And we just want you guys to come out and be exposed to something completely different that's not just healthcare.
Yes. Thank you. For all the people listening out there, we're all like, thank you, girl. We're tired. We're tired of going to the same conference, hearing the same thing about what we see at work every day. And it almost is like geared to just your nursing field career. That's it. It doesn't really expose you to think outside of, implementing being a nurse in your everyday life. Whether you're a nurse and you want to be a chef and you want to start a chefing blog as a nurse, don't know. Those are like creative ideas that you can incorporate your career into your life. And a lot of times when we go to these conferences, it's all about my career, my patients, my this. And it's like, wait a minute, what do I like to do? And incorporate my nursing care into it. So that's what I'm hearing about this summit. It seems like y'all are ready to let us be a nurse in our world, our everyday life, as a married wife, as a mom, as a sister, as a friend, as a cook, as a creative designer. I think this is what I'm hearing about this conference, and that is so exciting. So is this going to be the first one? Are you trying to do this annually, quarterly? Tell me more about how often should people be expecting to know about this summit?
So yes, the first one is September 29th, the very, 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 very first one, September 29th in Los Angeles. And because like Portia said, I am a Southern girl, I still have in Atlanta and Alabama. So I also wanted to include people in the South and on that side of the country. So that's why we decided to do two. So the second one will be in Atlanta in November 17th. And then after that, we're going to take a break for the holiday season because, people are just busy, around Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that. And so then we're going to plan some new stuff, some new events, and we're going to come back hard next year in 2019.
Yay, that's so exciting. And if you guys don't know, TobiTalks will be at this summit live in Atlanta. Actually LA. Atlanta, I wish I could be there. And that is my home. I love the South. I'm from Texas. So, of course, Southern girls, we stay vibing. We stay with seasoned food. We stay happy. But, on the West Coast, everything tastes like kale. But anywho, I'm so excited that you guys are coming to the West Coast, and I cannot wait for September 29th to come through. I know this is going to be an amazing summit. And before I leave, I want you guys to really give me some inspirational advice for students out there or for people who are at that brink of wanting to leave the nursing field. What kind of inspiration or advice can you give them to, continue to push forward to becoming an RN as a student and not let go of all that hard work you have done as an RN on your degree and keep motivated if you feel burnt out? So what kind of advice can you give either one of these people who could be listening to this episode?
Portia, I would love to start to say I'm actually an LPN. So to all the LPNs out there, do not let anyone put you in a box. I launched my business actually last year, and I have networked like crazy. I have collaborated with so many phenomenal people. I also write. I'm actually writing for nurse.org right now, and so many other phenomenal organizations. So don't let anyone put you in a box. Your network is your net worth. I have different people from LPNs all the way up to PhD and DNP nurses in my network, and they have all taught me something. So my advice would be, don't get stuck in a box, no matter who you are, where you're from. If it's for you, and go get it.
Yes, come through. She said, if it's for you, go get it. All right, Lolita, come on, let's wrap this up, girl. You let me know. Give me some advice to inspire my students and to keep those nurses out there that are feeling burnt out to still keep going.
Well, becoming a nurse was one of the greatest things that I've ever done, and I do not regret it at all. I actually was in the same situation that some of your listeners were in. I was completely burnt out. I was a critical care nurse for years, and I just got to the point where I just hated going to work every day, But what I realized was that the skills that I learned as a nurse, those skills are transferable. You can transfer those skills to any area of your life. You can change careers. You can leave the hospital, but still be a nurse. That's the most amazing part. I worked for Fortune 500 companies, and I eventually started my own business, but I'm still a nurse. So I say to all of your listeners, finish getting your degree, because once you have those core skills, you can use them for all areas of your life.
And that is true in so many ways. Like, once you get that degree, if you don't even want to see blood anymore, trust me, there are places you can work where you will never see blood and you will still be in the healthcare. So I love that. I love that inspiration. And I appreciate you ladies so much. And I am so excited. I cannot wait till September 29th. We're going to be lit in LA. I'm so excited. And I want to thank you guys so much for doing what you are doing. You are definitely impacting our nursing career and our nursing field. So thank you ladies so much.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed this interview session on the Conference and Networking Edition. To find out more about this event, check out TobiTalks.com. And I'd love to hear from you guys and tell me what you think, and if there's more that you would like to hear about these conferences and networking sessions. Email me at TobiTalks@TobiTalks.com. Again, that's TobiTalks@TobiTalks.com. Till next time, I can't wait for the next event.